evening, and welcome to another episode of the Power Half Hour Unstoppable Business Owner. And I'm your host, Dorothy Odell, for this evening. Tonight, I would just love to thank our sponsor, Bonnie Herb. Did you know that the Terra oils can help support your body physically, mentally, and emotionally and help you achieve optimal health? Aromatherapy is a very powerful tool. And for more information, you can definitely go to our friend Bonnie here at 810-414-0929 or go to her website, www.beoilywithbonnie.com. I have the distinct pleasure of bringing to the screen Mr. Rich Life. Welcome to the show, Rich. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good.
See, I'm all about fun and bringing this air of fun to the show because I don't know about you, but in a day we can go through so much crap. But we just and if you bring a fun element to it, it just rocks out your world. What do you think about that?
Oh yeah, yeah. I like to really think that it's kind of like this childlike quality that we bring to our day, because we can kind of cover it up with the seriousness of adulting, and we can come to the day with this curiosity, with this playfulness, with this fun, if we don't cover it up.
I love that you said that, and this is you first the first time we've ever started the show like this. So I love it, and I just finished the session with my coach, all about possibilities, and that was like it just boom, there it was. Like, who do you want to be as host? So here we are. I love that. I love that you brought that rich goodness, pun intended. I love it. So, Rich, tell our viewers a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your overcoming story, and then we'll go from there.
Yes. Okay. A little bit about myself. Hmm. I love to go rock climbing. I love to exercise, and I love to do yoga. And one of the things that I overcame fairly recently was I hit this point where I really was pushing myself to to really kind of increase my ability to handle stress. I was trying to increase my stress tolerance.
Mhm.
And let me tell you, I was getting pretty good at it. And then I crashed. I pushed myself into the ground because I thought I was creating this happiness formula.
Right.
And I didn't realize that the happiness that I was seeking was there under the surface.
Right. I was just gonna say, and how did that go for you? But then it like crash landed, like you said. Uh, you know, I love that you said that because it reminds me of this girl I once knew that like it seemed like life just kept piling on, right? She had a full-time job. She was getting married. Her hero, her father got cancer, and work was getting more pressure and more pressure. And it just kept building up on like a tsunami until one day it was like this girl had enough, and uh, she ended up seeking help, and that was the first turning point in her life. Like she seeked help before, but it was just like it was completely different. It was like an allowing of just like, nope, I can't deal with this crap right now, and just boom, it was she crashed and burned. So I totally get what you're saying, and that girl was me. That girl was me 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago. Uh, 3 years, yeah, 3.5 years ago. So I get it. Wow. So I only have a little bit more on you. That's it. so, so what did you do then to shift that? To get yourself out of being buried underneath all that stress that you were carrying.
Yeah, and I was doing it to myself too. I was getting up at 5 in the morning and doing yoga, meditation, qigong, tai chi, breath work, a cold shower, and that was my daily routine. And my de-stressing was stressing me out. And I was trying to eat so healthily that it was causing anxiety. I got into this deep well of anxiety, pacing at 3 in the morning, and I I kind of hit a rock bottom where I felt like I was trying to seek the answers, because I started to have health conditions. It was acid reflux,
Right.
and that was what was keeping me up. So I wasn't sleeping, and I was so scared. I was so afraid of eating food, and I slowly, once I kind of hit that rock bottom place, I had help from a psychiatrist. I think that was a big step, an
Mhm.
important step. And there was this point where I kind of had this decision to make. And I sat down. It was at my favorite place to eat tacos. So I went and I bought my tacos, and I ate the tacos, and I had this notebook, and on the right side of the page I put all of the wonderful things in my life. I put my wife, I put, it was basically a path. This way I could go, and there would be life. I would be uncomfortable. I wouldn't be happy right away. And then there was, on the left side of the page, there was just this dive into the fear and the anxiety. And on this side of the page, really it was death. I knew that if I continued along, maybe not a physical death, but a mental one, kind of a checking out.
Right.
And on this side of the page, it was life. And it's kind of funny because I had changed my name to Rich Life, which is my mom's maiden name. It's a family name.
Right.
And her grandmother, her name, or my great grandmother's name was Mort, which means death.
Oh.
And she married Life.
Life and death. And
Yeah.
the power of the tongue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and it's funny because, and I wasn't trying to make a joke when I first met Rich, but everybody who knows me knows that I'm a jokester. So when I saw his name, Rich Life, I was just like, oh, is that like he speaking into a metaphor, like having a rich life, like, right? And he goes, no, that's my name. And I'm like, oh, didn't I feel like crap, but for
Oh,
saying
how
that, but
dare you! I was so upset.
well, I am the queen of smartass some days. Um, I can say it. It's my show, and it's an kind of quasi evening show, so kids aren't really watching. But so yeah, I love that you said that. And you're the second guy in that I know of that has changed his last name. A guy I work with, he changed his last name to his mom's maiden name as well because, well, some things to do. Anyways, I'm not getting into that on why, but yeah. So I've never heard of that until just this year. I've never heard of that. And so that is so cool because, normally we just take our father's names and suck it up and that's what we do. But you're the second guy I know that's actually changed his last name to his mom's maiden name. So kudos for you.
There you go. Yeah. It was funny. I had done it before I crashed,
Mhm.
and it was in order to, because I wanted to start a business, and then uh, I experienced that crash as Rich Life. It was maybe my first rebirth. And I think it probably was actually. I had to.
That that's awesome. And I love that you said like life on one side, death on the other. Like, what are you choosing? Are you choosing life or death each day? And I have to say, when I was looking into Rich on his social media, I saw that. I saw that post that you had done with, the good and the bad, or the good versus evil, or whatever however you want to put it, life and death. And that really stood out for me. I'm like, a lot of people could use that tool. So do you use that tool when you're coaching your clients?
Hmm. That was an important step for me in that moment, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just this simplicity in the moment that is what I needed to
Right.
help move me forward.
Right.
What I tend to point people towards is their own innate knowing, their own innate wellness that will guide them to what they need to do. in the moment. That because what I was doing before was I was creating that formula, right? I would be like, ooh, this was great, and everybody says this is good, so I need to add that in.
Right.
And when we do that, when we try and make life an equation, it is going to be wrong, right? Maybe a couple of times, but then it starts being wrong because we're changing in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
We can't we can't be a formula. Where that would be so boring. And if it was like that, then everybody would have the formula. We would have discovered it. Oh yes, just do this, and all of your problems will be solved. But that's not how problems work, and that's not how this being human works.
Unfortunately, no. And sometimes being a human sucks some days, and sometimes it's really great and amazing. But could you imagine if we all had a life where, things just worked out, and they can. You just have to believe it, right?
It, I think that life works in a way that you don't really aren't trying to make it happen in that way. Like a life kind of unfolds. You can visualize, you can do anything like that, and it's going to turn out completely different than you think.
100%. 100%. Just when I think I've got something, God says, no, wrong again. And I love that you said that, because we see success, or we see our life as like a straight line up, right? And it's not. It's bumpy, and it has its craters, and then it has its high tops, and like we're just up and down. So I love that you said that. I'm not the only one that thinks that. I love that. So what would you say are your three things that you help your clients overcome?
Really, I help clients overcome. Number one, this is probably the biggest one, would be most people are using stress and fear and judgment as fuel for results because they saw that that's what was needed in the past. And now that fuel is really hard on the system. It can work in like a pinch, kind of like an afterburner to finish a race.
Mm-hmm.
But there are people who've adopted it as this like performance enhancing drug, when ironically it's coming from that space of being joyful, creative, uh, curious, like that childlike state that we were talking about at the beginning,
Right.
will ironically make you go further and will give you the success that you really want.
Right.
And I help clients get out of their own way, because we can create this kind of brick wall.
Mm-hmm.
I have a brick.
There we go.
I have it ready, apparently. But we can create this brick wall that's made from our own thinking,
Mm-hmm.
and we're like, well, we can't demolish it because I've worked so hard to make it.
Right.
This is blood, sweat, and tears, and years that I've built it. What, about 20 feet thick,
Yeah.
and it's protected me. But now it's in your way.
Mm-hmm.
And really, since the wall is made of thought, it doesn't operate like a real brick. You can walk right through it.
Right. Wow. Love that metaphor.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. We are just going to take,
Two things.
that was two. Yeah. What's your third?
I think I would like to help people with orthorexia, with eating disorders as well, with the eating disorder that I had when I hit that crash, that wall.
Wow.
I hit my own wall. I built it, and then
So he knows all about the brick, and then taking it down.
yeah,
One step at a time.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Hold that thought for right now, Rich. We're just going to go to a sponsored break here. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever are you tired of being sick Feeling stuck and sick in your career and business? Are you ready to unlock your full potential and accomplish your goals with compounding growth so that you can live a life like it's a walk on the beach? Then listen up, because I have some exciting news for you. Today's live cast is actually sponsored by the Left Foot Coach, an innovative entrepreneurial venture partner that will take your income and self expression to the next level. With his established 5 pillar methodology, the Left Foot Coach can help you build a solid foundation for success and expand your full potential. As a venture growth coach, the Left Foot Coach is dedicated to partnering with you and your established business to help you grow your income and achieve your goals. Whether you're an entrepreneur or a professional looking to take your career to the next level, the Left Foot Coach can provide you with support, guidance, resources, that you need to succeed. And the reason why I was laughing is because actually the Left Coach is my coach, and Rich actually was making metaphors that we had just used prior to getting on here. So absolutely love that you said that, because his was a taco and a tostita. And we were talking about, is your life going to be like a salad where it's nice and juicy and you can change it? Or is it going to be like a tostada where it's layered and you got to do this, this, and this, and this to get to the next day? Mm-hmm. So if, any of that interests you, and I love what you said there, Rich, then definitely make your consultation today and get that out of the way. And I will put those in the show notes for you to get a copy of that. But Rich, getting back to what you said, that's right. I love that you said that you had, well, I don't love the fact that you had an eating disorder. I love the fact that you said that you had one, only for the simple fact that I don't know of too many males that have come along and said that they had an eating disorder. Number one. And number two, because there's always usually women in the media and how their bodies should be and how their image should be and how everything should go along like that. But tell us more about that, because I'm really curious on that. Because as a woman, I've struggled obviously with body image my entire life. I'm a co-author of a book that's talking about body image and self-image. So from a male's perspective, I would really love to hear that.
Yeah. And for me, how it happened was I was a weight loss coach for 5 years and absolutely loved it for a really, really long time. And I realized that a lot of the guilt and the shame that people were sharing with me around food, I was adopting. And I was using that as rules to live my life, where I didn't need to lose weight. And I loved helping these people. I was really more interested in helping them with their mindset, with their self-worth. And of course the company wanted me to sell the protein drinks and the supplements and the medications. And I was more interested, especially near the end, in really helping people through those barriers that they were creating for themselves.
Right.
And so I was, of course, trying to be a good role model and was eating more healthily and was really kind of living my life like this experiment where I would try and say, like isolate the variables and put in this food and see how I felt. And then, okay, this food and see how I felt. And then I started to get rid of food groups, gluten, dairy. I started to get rid of sugar almost completely. I was eating vegetables for breakfast for all 3 meals a day.
Wow.
And I still eat well. I still eat fairly healthily and still struggle a little bit adding sugar in.
Right.
But what I found was that I was starting to lose weight, and the anxiety that I was giving myself around food was causing even more health conditions than if I would have had a cookie every once in a while.
Right. And that's funny that you said that, because I had just tried this 90-day transformation, and basically all you could eat was vegetables and protein. You were to fast until lunch, basically, But if you wanted breakfast, you could, but it had to be a vegetable. And I'm like, I'm not freaking eating vegetables for breakfast. There's just no way. Um, you know, couldn't have eggs,
Calorie.
couldn't have eggs, couldn't have anything like that. And I lost 24 pounds in 30 days. However, I was actually I was mentally not okay. Um, I my I have an 11-year-old, and my we like to eat out, and so in those 30 days I was very intentional on making a lot of food at home, and not having to have to go out. But life happens, and we're taking our son from one place to the next, and had to eat at Wendy's. And I'm like, okay, so in the salad it could only be like lettuce, couldn't have tomato, couldn't have certain things. So I'm picking all this stuff out of my salad, and I'm sitting there and I'm crying. And my husband is like, he got up and he left. He goes, I can't handle this. He goes, and it was just so mentally, I just couldn't do it. And he says, so I went outside, and I talked to him, and he goes, this is the last day that you're on this, because I would rather you happy than put yourself through this ever again. And that was the last day that I decided that, okay, I watch what I eat. I make healthier choices. I'm not miserable like I was. Um, and yeah, I mean, it's all for me anyways. I've had more success with making healthier choices instead of totally eliminating everything that you're not supposed to eat, right? It's insane, absolutely insane. But would you say with your eating disorder, did it affect your mental health as well?
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Oh yeah, my wife was very quick to point that out. Like, when I would try and remove food groups, I would feel cruddy, and then especially I would try to become a vegetarian because
Mhm.
I wanted to be, thoughtful of the environment, and then when I would do that, I would not be in a good mood. I need protein. So now I kind of listen to my body.
Yeah.
And kind of what you were saying, I'd like to maybe speak a little bit to a piece in that we kind of have this like yo-yo dieting, this like I'm gonna be on it, and then it's not sustainable.
Hmm.
And and I think what's really going on is that we have this natural spring, this natural innate wellness that operates like a spring,
Yeah.
and it helps us bounce through life. And we have the bumps of life, and it's like boop, boop, boop. But we're able to, with the power of our own thinking, compress it. And
Mm.
when that spring is compressed, there's tension,
Right.
there's headaches. It might show up as chronic conditions even, and people can compress it for hours or days.
Hmm.
And then I think that's kind of what it's at the root of how people are using their own minds against themselves. And then when it's compressed like that, it tends to snap sometimes,
Hmm.
or we tend to try and release the compression through food or wine or alcohol, or you can be addicted to pretty much anything.
Yeah.
I was kind of addicted to self-help and trying to make myself feel good.
Right. So I just heard this phrase recently called toxic positivity, where, and I'm like, what the hell is that? How can you have how can you have toxic positivity? But I see that now. I see, like, because we try and overcompensate for all the negative beliefs that we have around certain things, that we take it to the extreme. And like you said, getting up at 5 o'clock and doing your meditation, your yoga, and all that, just to have this balanced life. And man, like, this is a week of awakening. Like I've been on a healing journey for the last 15 years, and it's just like God's dropping these nuggets in my lap this week. And it's funny, like I said, the conversations I've been having just today alone, like with you and with other people, and it's the same conversation today. So I love that you're on the show today, and I love that basically you're reinforcing everything that that's being told out there, and just we put so much stress on ourselves to be perfect and so much stress on ourselves to get life right. And this is the thing, because I'm in this course where it's called the Course of Miracles. Everything means freaking nothing, guys. We're stressing about shit day in and day out, and the reading of life, it's all meaningless. So all that crap that you're stressing about and everything means nothing. So get that.
Hmm.
And what do you do with that? Seriously. Any thoughts on that, Rich? Like, serious? Does that like blow your mind?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I 100% connect with that because, but this is the issue, is that we are made so incredibly with this consciousness that makes real our thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And so if our thinking is that's in that stress place, wow, it feels real, and you can hurt yourself.
Right.
You can hurt yourself with the power of your own thinking. And you do it, you don't do it on purpose.
No.
But once you start to see that, and I saw that after I went through this,
Mm-hmm.
when you can start to see that, okay, where am I right now? Maybe I can slow down. Maybe I can take a breath. And that actually, when I'm hurting myself, when it's hurting, that is a signal that my thinking is off. Not about the situation, because it feels like it's confirming the situation.
Right.
That I'm stressed about the job or the kids or that. But you're only stressed about your thinking, and your body will make you feel it. It's incredible. It's like,
Mm.
it's like an incredible power we have. It's like, wow.
We are full of superpowers.
We are good. What we think becomes like this feeling reality.
Right. Wow.
And when we start to see that, and start to see that, oh, this is hurting, and that means the thoughts are hurting, and it's kind of like this signal that your hand is too close to the stove, or that
Mm-hmm.
you should pull your hand away, that you
Mm-hmm.
should question your thinking.
Right.
Then it can guide you, and then you're buoyant. You will come back with new thinking, with fresh thought, with a little bit of space, and sometimes a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Wow. I can't believe it's at the half hour already. This episode is just like flown by. I love it. Thank you so much, Rich. Thank you for everybody that has been in the comments tonight and watching, and for those of you on the replay. I just want to thank you. And Rich, I just want to thank you so much for, coming onto the show tonight and really sharing from your heart what it is that you've been through, how you help your clients, and where's the best place for them to reach you.
Yeah, the best place for them to reach me would probably be by email at
Okay.
richliferealization@gmail.com. They can also find me on Instagram at richliferealization, or on YouTube at richliferealization as well.
Okay, perfect. I'm just getting this up here, add as banner. So here we go. There we go. richliferealization@gmail.com. So get a hold of Rich today, and let him, bust through those barriers with you. Absolutely love all of that. So thank you so much, Rich. Do you want to leave our guests with one last tip?
I think I would say that when you're in it, when you are taken away and you're in the hurt, that you become absorbed by it, if you can start to pause and start to slow down a little bit, and think of it, I like to think of it as like a stoplight, like a traffic light. Like, if it green, if it feels good, then your thoughts are kind of in clarity with your well-being.
Mm-hmm.
Yellow, might be time to slow down a little bit
Right.
and question your thoughts. And then red, okay, yeah, you're off, and that's okay. It's
And it's okay not to be okay. I'm just
Yeah,
adding that.
it's okay. Yeah, but slow down.
Right. Thank you so much, Rich. That was very rich in content. Love everything that you just said. And I just want to give one final shout out to our last sponsor of today's show, Jen Sahari's, with her book, Created No Way Out. If you would like a gripping book, definitely get your hands on it today. You can get it on Amazon or on her website, www.jensahari.com. Faith, who is on the verge of ending her life the following decades of being unheard and unseen and suffering from anxiety, she takes a look back at her life as she's moving through her final day and recognizes just how much pressure she's put on herself at all times and lose sight of her self-worth and confidence. But it has an ending that you don't want to miss. So get your copy today. And what a great way to, well, we're almost ending the Mental Health Awareness Month. We're in the middle of Mental Health Awareness Month, and Rich, your content was just added so much to that. So thank you so much. And with that, guys, be unstoppable in all that you do, and see you same time, same channel next week. Bye for now.